L'avvento dei regimi totalitari che devastarono l'Europa nel XX secolo, purtroppo, emerge di nuovo con forza nell'attualità, questa volta in scala globale. Una nuova religione dove il potere, usando la stessa tattica delle sette e dei culti, viene elevato alla categoria di nuovo Dio. I cittadini, spinti in uno stato di squilibrio mentale collettivo e avendo riposto la propria totale fede nei nuovi dei, si sottomettono in massa alla tirannia. Una scala di valori basata sempre sul beneficio economico e di fatto d'accordo nel permettere ogni tipo di barbarità se ciò servisse per aumentarlo. Appunto questo accade in Europa nel XX secolo, nella Germania nazista, una nazione intera che nel mezzo della psicosi collettiva e la più assoluta degenerazione morale, con modalità totalmente religiose, abbraccia valori che sarebbero stati impensabili. La gente, trascinata da una moralità profana, elevando il governo a categoria di nuovo Dio, anche appoggiato dalla nuova poderosa scienza, permise un olocausto. I regimi totalitari comunisti furono ancora più nefasti. Dopo aver implementato una feroce ingegneria sociale, accatastarono più di 100 milioni di cadaveri in poco più di mezzo secolo. Quello che vediamo in entrambi i casi è una psicosi collettiva che coincide con l'accettazione sociale della guerra e dei massacri più atroci. Società degenerate moralmente, con livelli estremi di ansietà, frustrazioni e aggressività che derivano allo stesso totalitarismo che oggi si sta facendo strada. Le crisi e la guerra non sono sventure capitate per caso o per volere di un paese malvagio, ma una scelta politica del draghismo neoliberista, calorosamente assecondata da tutto il sistema, dalla Meloni a Letta. A Davos, ogni anno dal 1987, si svolge il World Economic Forum, che riunisce, per iniziativa di tal Klaus Schwab, le corporation più grandi e il ristrettissimo grumo di potere finanziario che pretende dominare il pianeta riprogettandolo secondo una scala di valori correlata al proprio esclusivo beneficio. Un ispiratore consulente di punta delle diaboliche dottrine enunciate davanti a quella platea è Yuval Noah Harari, professore alla Università di Gerusalemme. L'orrore dichiarato in quel consesso dei satanici oligarchi dell'usura non ha scomodato l'indignazione di nessun rappresentante istituzionale o presunto tale, non ha sollecitato l'insofferenza di nessuna organizzazione mondiale o presunta tale. Sentite quale futuro hanno intenzione di instaurare per l'essere umano, te incluso. Non pensare che riguardi altri soggetti lontani, te incluso. Se sei disinteressato, distratto, ingenuo, menefreghista, codardo o inconsapevole, faciliterai loro il compito. Solo la consapevolezza di molti ci salverà.
No, I think maybe in a couple of decades when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored. That we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian machines, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin. Because really we haven't seen anything yet. I think the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings, the ability to hack humans, to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. And for that, the most important data is not what you read and who you meet and what you buy, it's what's happening inside your body. So we had these two big revolutions, the computer science revolution, or the infotech revolution, and the revolution in the biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge. They are merging around, I would say, the biometric sensor. It's the thing, it's the gadget, it's the technology that converts biological data into digital data that can be analyzed by computers. And having the ability to really monitor people under the skin, this is the biggest game changer of all. Because this is the key for getting to know people better than they know themselves. I often give the example from my own personal life that I realized I was gay only when I was 21. And I keep thinking about the time when I was 15, 16, how could I have missed it? You know, something so important about myself should have been obvious, but I didn't know. Now, today, or in 5 or 10 years, any algorithm of Microsoft or Amazon or the government would be able to know such a thing when I'm 12 or 13, just by monitoring what's happening in my body, what's happening to my eyes when let's say I see a boy and a girl walking on the beach. Where do my eyes focus? So this is the crucial revolution, and COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin, their body temperature. Like we walked in here, we had to go through a body temperature test.
Even in Israel, it has become a national security issue, right?
So again, I'm not against surveillance. It's an important tool, especially to fight epidemics. The question is, again, who is doing it and how? If you give it to the security service to do it, that's extremely dangerous. Yes, now they're using it to see whether you have the coronavirus. But exactly the same technology can determine what you think about the government. You know, anger is a biological phenomena just like disease. It's not some spiritual thing out there. It's a biological pattern in your body. With this kind of surveillance, I mean, you watch the big president, the big leader, gives a speech on television. The television could be monitoring you and knowing whether you're angry or not, just by analyzing the cues, the biological cues coming from your body. So, you know, people are now watching us online, all over the world, this conversation. Now, maybe even right now, the people who are watching us are being watched and analyzed. And, you know, the thing is, it's not just you're now watching this. The thing is, we know that you're watching this, and we also know how you feel. Are you angry about what you hear? Are you frightened? Are you bored? This is the kind of power that Stalin didn't have. You know, when Stalin gave a speech, everybody, of course, clapped their hand and smiled. Now, how do you know what they really think about Stalin? It's very difficult. You can't have a KGB agent following everybody all the time. Even if you do it, he's just watching your outside behavior. He doesn't really know what's happening in your mind. But in 10 years, the future Stalins of the 21st century, they could be watching the minds, the brains of all the population all the time. And also, they will have the computing power to analyze all that. You know, it's not just having an agent following everybody all the time. The agent in Stalin's days writes a paper report, and you have these millions of paper reports piling up in Moscow. Somebody needs to read them, to analyze them. That's impossible. Now you don't need human agents. You don't need human analyzers. You just have a lot of sensors and an AI which analyzes it, and that's it. You have the worst totalitarian regime in history. And COVID is important because COVID legitimizes some of the crucial steps, even in democratic countries. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens, because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things. You need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject
to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds. The IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud, these are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time, science may enable life, after being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic compounds, science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm.
Non rinunciare a difenderti. Di loro che non ti arrenderai.